Deputy Speaker, sir, with your kind permission, I rise to reply. The discussion started from Professor Sugata Roy, and he gave a very elaborate presentation, and very rightly beginning with a tribute to late Homi Baba, and rightly so. Lot of much which is being witnessed in the form of achievements in the nuclear program of India today is owed to the vision and also the original aptitude of Dr. Homi Baba. Sometimes it also makes me wonder how daring it would have been for him or his colleagues to have envisaged a nuclear program. As Professor Sugata was saying, Hiroshima had just happened, and when he was talking that, it occurred to me that when Homi Baba set out to establish the Bhabha Atomic Center, Hiroshima had just happened about 7 or 8 years ago in 1955. And the BARC was set up in 55, Hiroshima happened in 45, and therefore 10 years. Yes, no, I am coming to that. And therefore, and not only that, he also had the courage to say, because there was a lot of prejudice against any nuclear program being initiated anywhere in the world at that time, and Homi Baba had the courage to say that he was going to set out a nuclear program for peaceful purposes. And I am glad today that in this year, this happens to be the Diamond Jubilee year of the establishment of the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and in the 60th year, we have adequately vindicated Homi Baba's commitment to the nation of having achieved a nuclear program which has been essentially dedicated to peaceful purposes. Professor Sugata was also referring to the other prime ministers, Jawaharlal Nehru, and he thought I would shirk away by naming him. Certainly, 2015 would not have happened if 1955 had not happened. And therefore, this is an ongoing process over the last 60 years. But I think this is a matter of great satisfaction that the nuclear program has progressively been on the ascent. And we have, to a large extent, succeeded in achieving the goals that we set out for ourselves. Now, as was rightly mentioned by Sugata, this NPCIL was set up in 1962, and that was also the year when the Atomic Energy Act was enacted. But you would appreciate that over the last few years, there has been a very fast-paced development in the nuclear program. And you would allow me to say that in the last 17, 18 months, under the leadership of the present Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, there have been a number of agreements and MOUs with a number of countries. In fact, whichever country he has visited abroad, he has always come back with something related to nuclear energy, so much so that even day before yesterday, on the 12th, when the Japanese Prime Minister was here, there was an MOU signed in atomic energy. Having said that, you would also realize that to keep pace with this fast track, we need to have certain modifications which would facilitate the desire to move faster, and as you rightly said, move in the direction of India becoming a world power in every sphere, including the production of the nuclear energy. And also because in the years to come, we hope to and we plan to use nuclear energy as one of the major sources of electricity, and not only as nuclear power, but also as nuclear energy. You refer to thorium, and I would just, you would be reassured to say that yes, India is the major storehouse of thorium today, in fact, the world's biggest storehouse. And I would also agree with you that we still need to exploit the fullest potential of thorium in India. But we are certainly moving in that direction. And the thorium program, third stage, will progress on the basis of the second stage, which we are into it. And I'm sure very soon we would be into an era of fast breeders using thorium. And when that happens, as you rightly mentioned, we would be on the top of the world. You mentioned about the apprehension about the accidents. Fukushima, the latest one and the most dreadful one that happened in Japan in the year 2011. I would just like to put the record straight. Fukushima was of course very dreadful, but there were certain inherent defects in that plant when it happened. It was at the first place wrongly located in the seismic zone. And when the earthquake took place, there was a huge inflow of water into the plant. And this water choked everything else, even the outlets, and that consequently led to disaster. But we in India, under the leadership of eminent scientists Homi Bhabha, Satish Dhawan and his successors up to this date, have had some of the best scientific teams and who have taken care of this part also. Most of our plants are located or set up after taking care of all these possible risk factors. And also, the seismic zone close to India is located in Indonesia, which is more than about 300 kilometers away. So we do not actually suffer that kind of risk magnitude. About the Civil Nuclear Liability Damage Act of 2010 was mentioned by Professor Sugato. Yes, the act was accomplished, but let me use this opportunity to share with the August House that there are 3 or 4 major points which would sum up all the concerns as far as this act is concerned. A, that there is absolutely no compromise on the priority given to the victim. So the victim's interest is not compromised by any chance. B, the liability of the operator to the supplier, that has been kept intact so that the operator can also claim. C, we have now instituted a national nuclear pool which was coming in the way of compensation. So that has the maximum liability payable is about 26,000 crore or so, 2,600 crore or so. The NPCIL has a limit of about 1,100. The remaining amount is put by the government. And if you go beyond that, then since we are also the member of the Civil Nuclear Commission, the international body, we can also claim that. And there is also a timeline left. You can claim property damages up to 10 years, personal injury damages up to 20 years. So what I'm trying to say, sir, is that that part has been adequately taken care of. And at the same time, I do admit and appreciate your concern is well taken. The disposal of spent fuel was referred to you, of course, is a major concern. But in the area of atomic energy, that is something which is done in a very scientific way. It is a kind of it's a great ceremony doing it. You have to store it under the ground for several years. Sometimes it remains even after 100 years it comes out. So it is not so simplistic that you simply throw it into the sea and you allow the fish and the fishermen to bear the damage of it. There is a proper scientific methodology of dealing with the spent fuel. प्रहलाद पटेल जी ने इसका बिल का समर्थन भी किया और एक दो बातें जो बिंदु जो उन्होंने ध्यान में लाए कि since now, as I said, in order to meet this expansion, we are now entering into a phase of joint ventures in atomic energy, which was earlier confined only to the NPCI, all the Bhavani, which were the atomic energy units. तो उन्होंने एक बात की और ध्यान दिया कि शायद इससे ये भी होगा कि उदाहरण के तौर पर तमिलनाडु का कोई कॉरपोरेशन है, कल को ये भी संभावना बन सकती है कि वो भी उसमें आ सकता है. और जिस प्रकार AIDM के हमारे आदरणीय सदस्यों ने कहा कि the manner in which Amma is taking keen interest in the nuclear program and also in Tamil Nadu establishments, tomorrow this will pave the way of a participation even by the public sector units over there. साथ ही साथ प्रहलाद जी ने डायरेक्टर्स की सिलेक्शन की बात की कि वो जो भी इस तरह का होगा, certainly that is a procedure which is followed in letter and spirit and there is no compromise. The other properties of the nuclear energy like medicine, therapeutic have been referred. प्रहलाद जी का कहना था कि उसकी ओर भी पर्याप्त ध्यान दिया जाना चाहिए. मैं उनको आश्वस्त करता हूँ ऐसा होता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम केवल इसको न्यूक्लियर प्लांट्स के लिए ही उपयोग में लाया जा रहा है। आज भी भाभा एटॉमिक सेंटर में मेडिसिन, न्यूक्लियर साइंस को लेकर के शोध करने वाले, पीएचडी करने वाले अनेकों छात्र हैं। वी हैव इन प्लेस अ प्रॉपर PhD degrees also, proper research courses also. In fact, many years ago, when this has just started, I myself had used the isotopes procured from Bhabha Atomic Center somewhere in the 80s. I used to tag red blood cells and find out the life of red blood cells in different diseases. So that was chromium, and it was lifted from the airport with a big fanfare because everybody ran out of the airport thinking that they would get exposed. So I'm coming to that. That is the hazard fear which is there. It is not the hazard, it is the hazard fear which is actually to be taken care of through awareness programs and other programs. Yes. That iodine, that no, Dada, aisa hai, that is done only when actually thyroid develops. Yes, you are right. That is one of the, I appreciate his versatile knowledge. Dada, that is one of the treatments for thyroid, but that is only when you have actually developed on account of radiation. Anyway, Mr. Satpathy referred to very interesting political observation that when this side was opposing, sometimes this side was not happy, and then they were asking, so when the sides change, there's a volte-face. But I think our Honorable Satpathy ji has the advantage of sitting in the middle. So he has no problem. So he was saying that there are some volte-faces he's been witnessing. So he, from a position of advantage, he can give us good advice. About the RTI Pact, I wish to just bring a small fact to your notice. Although, by and large, the atomic energy programs are kept out of the purview of RTI reasons, for reasons known to all of us, for security reasons and other reasons. But even then, the NPCIL is under the purview of RTI. The Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, the most important unit under the purview of atomic energy, is covered by RTI, and in fact all the data is also put on the website. You rightly expressed apprehensions of Atomic Energy Regulatory Board being dependent on the Commission and therefore its authority likely to get undermined. I would just beg to differ, because of the fact that Atomic Energy Regulatory Board has been given full autonomy. It's an autonomous board. Now, for reasons of salary and other things, it has to be linked to somebody, so it has been linked to the government, so that's for obvious reasons. All the autonomous units in the country have to draw their salary from some exchequer, which necessarily does not mean that they are subjugated to the government whims and fancies. As far as the risk of accident is concerned, yes, a reactor is designed after full technical and cost viability tests. And as far as the risk or the hazard, I think it's more of the apprehension of the hazard which we need to correct through public awareness programs rather than the hazard per se. And if it was actually hazardous, you would agree with me that over the last 60 years, not a single scientist has been affected by the atomic or a nuclear radiation. Those of them who have spent most of their lifetimes inside the Bhabha Atomic Center. And I, in fact, was checking the data. There have been hardly about 20 or so unnatural deaths. So most of these deaths have happened because of accidents, suicides, poisoning, etc., but none of them because of the nuclear radiation. The safety standards, and in fact, in some of the foreign countries nowadays, they have got into the practice of bringing up nuclear plants even in the residential areas. So what I'm trying to say is that with each passing day, there is an improvement even in the safety safeguards, and therefore that is being adequately taken care of. There has not been a single evidence, and we live in an evidence-based era, of any hazard having taken place to the residents around or to those working inside the plants. Mr. Vinayak Rawat ji ने जैतापुर की बात की, उन्होंने कहा कि शायद वो साइट सुरक्षित नहीं है. जहाँ तक वैज्ञानिक आधार पर मैं आपको आश्वस्त करना चाहूँगा कि ये डज नॉट फॉल इन दी सिस्मिक जोन. ये सारे परीक्षण करने के उपरांत ही इस प्रकार का निष्कर्ष निकाला गया था कि ये एक सेफ साइट है. और इसलिए आपसे भी आग्रह है, क्योंकि आप उस क्षेत्र से हैं, कि हम जागरूकता के कुछ कार्यक्रम आयोजित करके लोगों को ये समझाने का प्रयास करें कि इसका लाभ कितना अधिक होने वाला है. So apprehensions, sometimes occurring spontaneously, sometimes motivated by extraneous considerations, can be overcome by the collective effort of all of us. Mr. Jaidev Kala from TDP gave an elaborate presentation. He Yes, he said the NALCO's proposal had come. Certainly, sir, one of the reasons which has inspired us to go in for this joint venture initiative is that we had actually offers for some of the public sector units and some of the government companies, including the NALCO, including the Indian Oil Corporation, which wanted to enter into joint venture with Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, but the Atomic Energy Act of 1962 came in the way, and therefore we have brought in this amendment. As far as the entry of the private sector is concerned, that is not yet been granted, and for the reasons known to all of us. And yes, sir, I'll just take 5-10 minutes. I'm not repeating, but I'm just trying to clear whatever has been said. What about the uranium? Mr. Jaidev has wanted to know about the uranium coming in from the other countries. We have a regular import of uranium happening from a number of countries, including Canada, Kazakhstan, Russia. As I said even day before yesterday, when the Japanese Prime Minister was here, the Prime Minister entered into an MOU with regard to uranium, and wherever Prime Minister has been in the last 18 months, there has been some or the other kind of agreement or understanding as far as the uranium or the nuclear program supplementation is concerned. Mr. Reddy was referring to the breakup of 51%. Yes, earlier this Government Company Act, by definition, it placed an embargo of 51%. Now, when we enter into the joint venture, we would have the other company also. We are not going to have any private company or foreign company. And may I just like to clarify with Mr. Rajesh, that there is certainly no FDI clause included in this amendment. I don't know how it has transpired. And the nuclear power generation, which he was a little pessimistic about, I would like to clarify that the nuclear power generation quantum is progressively on the increase, and by 2020 we would be having as much as 13,500 megawatts of nuclear power, which would become a major source of electricity and energy in this country. And in West Bengal, the Haripur site is already well placed. Nuclear medicine, thorium, I have already talked about, private sector. Yes, so I will not repeat, I will just sum up in 2 minutes. Yes, one word of gratitude, acknowledgement to Mr. P.R. Sundaram of AIDMK. He referred to the Honorable Chief Minister Amma taking a keen interest in the nuclear power establishments in Tamil Nadu. And I must admit that it is, of course, Tamil Nadu is one of our most precious storehouses of nuclear program, and he made a query which needs to be responded. Yes, Kundakulam phase 1 has 2 units. You rightly mentioned that the first unit is under shutdown. It is under shutdown for regular basis for checks and other things, but we are sure by January we will start. So you can convey this good news to Honorable Amma as well. As far as the second unit of phase 2 is concerned, that also would be made functional by the March or April of 2016. So which in other word means that phase 1, both the units in Kundakulam, of course, with the repeated reminders from Honorable Amma and our efforts, we have tried to live up to her expectation. You asked for a greater share of energy. That is another issue which is bothering many of the honorable members, because the policy as it exists enables us to allow 50% of the energy share for the state, and Tamil Nadu is asking for a longer share because 35% goes to the surrounding region and 15% to the central pool. I just beg to bring to your notice, and you can take it up accordingly, that this is not in the purview of the Atomic Energy Department. Basically, this rule this is called Gadgar formula, which was originated from the Ministry of Power. So it is the Power Ministry actually which is determining how much share has to go somewhere, and we follow the same. So accordingly it can be taken.
The point. Some states are not willing to have the atomic energy. Then what is the condition? If you are giving share from here to that state, let those states having atomic energy, electricity generating, those states let them share.
Yeah, that is well taken, sir.
Otherwise nobody will others.
That is well taken. That can be a mutual arrangement. That's right, sir. But what I was telling is the general rule which is followed, and some of the states have some reservations about that. But of course, what you are referring to, sir, is a general rule. You talked of safety of scientists, Bhagwat Manji, yes, but there is no FDI. He's walked out before that. And he also expressed concern about brain drain, which is slightly out of this. I have to sum up because I've been asked to do that. दुष्यंत जी ने कहा कि मारुति के साथ होगा टाई अप. I must confess with all the honesty at my command that this amendment will not debar Maruti from entering into a joint venture if it does so, just as Indian Oil Corporation has said. But I think that was not the major concern. The major concern was that it would ultimately lead to a win-win situation for both the sides. They would also make some equity, because otherwise we don't have the means enough, and we also suffer from financial constraints in our expansion program. So maybe the equity which is generated for them would be put to use by them for their own purposes. Yes, yeah, exactly. So as far as expertise is concerned, no, well taken. NPCIEL will make up for that. Now, for example, NPCIEL is a partner, for example, with Maruti or any other concern, which of course, as you rightly said, may not be having the kind of expertise in atomic energy which is required. The NPCIEL will be the main leader. So they would be rather the investors and would be the beneficiaries by way of equity. We will not allow them to make cars in the atomic energy plant. So that we will not do. Gorakhpur, no, that is his state. The work has already started. No, but all the adequate precautions have been taken, and I think it's a matter of pride that we are getting the first nuclear installation in this part of the country. And
No, please take me. He's honestly.
And sir, there are two amendments.
No, he is not completed speech. Please.
I then now request, there are two amendments, sir, one by Professor Sugata Roy and one by Mr. Prem Chandran. I would request them to reconsider whether we can take them back, because...
No, that is his one.
Okay, so, fine. But your advice is well taken and we have considered it. And Professor Prem Chandran is also not there. His concern is already been incorporated in the amendment. Maybe it was not adequately conveyed by us to him, and therefore the amendment happened. Thank you, sir. Okay. With the permission of the chair, I now move the bill for...
The question is that the bill be taken to consideration. Those in favor may say aye, those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion for consideration of the bill is adopted. The House will now take up class by class consideration of the bill. Sri Saukat Rai, already you said not moving. Right. This amendment is not moving. Prem Chandran is also not here. Is not here. The question is that class 2 stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Class 2 stand part of the bill. Saukat Rai is moving second. No, it's not moving. The question is that class 3 to stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Class 3 stand part of the bill. The question is that class 1 enacting formula on long title to stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Class 1 enacting formula on long title stand part of the bill. The minister may now move the bill be passed.
With the permission of the chair, I beg that the bill may be taken passed.
What?
हो गया
उपाध्यक्ष महोदय उपाध्यक्ष महोदय
Do I need to answer, sir?
मंत्री जी ने कहा कि आज तक कहीं भी किसी न्यूक्लियर जो हमारे टेस्टिंग लैब्स हैं वहां पर कोई अननेचुरल डेथ नहीं हुई ड्यू टू रेडिएशन. पीएमओ का रिप्लाई है कि 70% डेथ जो हमारे इन सेंटर्स में हुई है, दैट इज 3887, आर ड्यू टू कैंसर, और न्यूक्लियर का कैंसर एक पार्ट है. ये मेरी एक क्वेरी है सर. और दूसरी है, आपने गोरखपुर की लोकेशन पे चर्चा करी.
ठीक है, ठीक है. No, okay. I'll in half a minute I'll answer both. Okay. ठीक है दुष्यंत. Yes sir. So Deputy Chairman sir, as far as the first query by Mr. Satpathy, honourable member, is concerned, as of now there is no plan or proposal to dissociate the two, but as I said, it is an absolutely autonomous body and there is no control exercised extraneously on it. As far as the honourable member Dushyant ji's figure is concerned, actually दोनों ही सच है. होता क्या है कि cancer and radiation, they have a prospective effect, may not be retrospective. In other words, all the cancers are not caused because of radiation, but all the radiations don't lead to cancer. So you are right, these deaths or these figures of cancer happening among the staff of Bhattacharya Atomic Center are true, but they are not related to the nuclear radiation as such, because there are certain categories of cancer which are directly related to it.
The minister may now move that the bill be passed.
I move that the bill be passed.
The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The bill is passed. Item